Apparently we're live. Hello, everyone. Yes, we are Sans Chill today. He is currently cruising around Alaska, or apparently the last frontier is what people refer to it as.
Oh,
Somewhere on the other side of the planet to me, anyway. So he
oh,
will be back next week. So, yes, having a great time, apparently.
That's
oh.
good.
Well,
So
that's
this
good,
week
yeah.
we have Alex and Rachel, who we'll just talk to more in a minute, but you've seen them both in the past. Of course, Rachel is very active in the community. Should I ask about Tor community or shouldn't I?
Uh, I don't really know what's happening anymore with
Okay,
that.
that's fine.
I think everyone's, yeah,
Yep.
pretty much
Uh,
left.
yeah. Well, make sure to plug your own site, of course. zamzamsays.com. All right. So let's just see if we got anything else to cover before we start besides tweeting. But I think we can just roll into it. Now, just something I do want to mention, just to anyone who happens to be watching and tunes into our live broadcasts. There's a good chance in the next few weeks we may be moving permanently to Thursday night US time, because I'm going to be working Monday through Thursday, and today is Thursday. So, well, assuming that all pans out, yeah, the recording will be on, yeah, Thursday evening, 4:30 p.m. usual time when she'll get home from work, and presumably it will be released maybe 24 hours later than it currently is each week. So, bit of news on that front. I'm traveling next week, but that's not really relevant.
That might make it easier for me to join more often, actually, because my
On
school has
Thursday.
more like yeah, Thursday, isn't it? Like, because today's a Thursday for us, so that makes it
Yes.
Friday. So
Yes.
then my school goes off on Fridays a lot, so
Right. All right.
that might be even more useful.
Indeed. Well, that would be cool. So
Mm.
all kinds of hidden benefits in this. All right, I'm tweeting as OotiniCast, not me. Using TweetDeck, which is awesome. 268. All right, tweeted. There's a couple of sound clips I'll be playing. Well, actually, no, I won't be playing. What I'm going to do is link to them, and if you happen to want to watch them later, sorry, listen to them later, you can do so. It's just easier. All right. Have I got a list of people here so I can read that out? If I forget to shout out to the chat room, please, someone remind me. Any particularly terrible names that I'm going to have struggle with? No, looked all right. All right. I have to psych myself up to do the intro. This is hard. See, this is why Chill should be here every week, because
Yes.
otherwise I have to do a whole lot more talking than I usually do.
Oh, the tips are gonna be pretty good.
Yes, I will. We'll just sort of stroll our way through those tips because there's going to be a certain amount of repetition as well, so we'll skip over stuff that people have repeated. I'm hearing myself. Alex, is your volume a little bit high in your headset?
Possibly. That is
Because I
that
think I was
better?
hearing it before
Oh,
Rach
jeez.
joined.
Oh, I see what I'm saying. Try speaking now.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Can
Testing.
you still hear yourself?
No, that's good. Perfect.
All right, I think I fixed it then.
I get to use my radio voice when doing test transmissions over HF. It's lots of fun. Anyway,
Dad used to work at a radio.
well, with radios. It's a long story. All right, let's not stop pissing around and get on with it. Just checking the chat.
Familiar faces.
There is something strange about this event. It has the power to make me want to play the game less. You'll have to explain that one, Blacklock, because that is very much against the whole point of the event. But yes, all right. So let's get on with it. I've got to record myself because that would be terrible if I forgot to record. Test. All right.
So
Actually, hello. Bit of piss with my my volume got dropped. before I hit studio mode. There we go. Testing. Should be it. I can hear myself again, Alex, because I'm louder.
Really? That's...
What about you, Rach? Is your headphone...
I think I'm okay.
Yeah, actually, no. Test? No, I definitely can hear an echo. Well, if I have to fix it in
try now.
post... Test. Yeah, I still can hear it.
Seriously? That's really odd.
Nah, that's okay. I can fix it in post. It just makes more work for me, Alex.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's really odd. Maybe I fiddled with one too many
Fine.
settings trying to fix it.
It's fine. Alright, let's go. Before I freeze in some sort of artistic panic. Alright, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that made its landing approach at light speed. What could possibly go wrong? This is episode 268, being recorded on Wednesday, July the 6th, 2016. I'm your host, Tio, taking the reins while Chill enjoys a cruise around the last frontier, aka Alaska. Our guests today are Rachel, also known as Zamzam, and Alex. But let's start with Rachel. It's been a long time. What have you been up to in SWTOR?
I actually haven't been playing much for the last month and a bit, actually. Just logging on to do the chapters, and that's it. And I'm playing other games now. Went back to WildStar for a bit. I'm actually really enjoying that again. And just this week I have decided to try World of Warcraft.
For the first time? Impressive.
Yes.
I know
Well,
Ari is also
SWTOR
playing that. But
Yeah,
yeah, cool.
SWTOR was my first MMO, so yeah.
Ah, yes.
My SWTOR guildies have gone back to WoW. Well, a few of them have, so I figured I would take the plunge and give it a try.
It's quite an experience, and you will find there is certainly a lot of content there.
Yeah.
For someone who's never been there before, it's kind of ridiculous, really. But yeah, cool. Do you think you'll be participating in the Dark Side versus Light Side event?
No, I refuse to do it. So.
Is this because of how the event is treating veterans?
Oh, that's part of it, but for me, there's no appeal for me to do it because I've already been doing all the class stories at my own pace. I don't really need to do it again. I've done most of them twice, so if not 3 times.
Yeah, the way they're setting up the event, especially with the 50% XP bonus, means that you're more or less rushing through it anyway to get all of the A-class stories done for that legendary tier. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It is sort of bringing back some nostalgia, I gotta say, which is part of the point, I guess, but... Anyway, are you looking forward to the end of the story, chapter 16? Or can you see where they're going?
I'm kind of looking forward to it. I've decided to stay subscribed just to see the end of it. But after that, I will be unsubscribing. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Of course, they are working on group content. More about that later. Actually, not much more, but, well, who knows? Who knows? People may return if we get some good news on that front. And I hear things are happening in real life as well.
Yes, I am actually moving to the US next week.
That's a big step from Australia.
Yes, to move in with my boyfriend who I met through SWTOR. So, yeah.
That's so cool. SWTOR love story, as it were. It is also how I met Ari, in fact. So it's going around. It's a good thing.
Picking all the flirt options.
We're not going to go into that, Alex, because we're just not. All right. Anything else, Rach?
No, that's about it, I guess.
All right. Alex, how about you?
Well, I've been playing the game a lot, especially with the Dark vs. Light, because I'm not a veteran. I've barely done any of the raids. I haven't even completed all the class stories. I still haven't done the agent one, which I've kept trying, but like there's this one point towards the end of or the beginning of chapter 2 where I just kind of stop every single time. But
What's
I
that?
might.
Why is it such a
I don't
block
know.
for you?
I just don't really like how the class plays sometimes. Like, like every time I try to do a different discipline or something, and I've tried the healer, and I hate leveling as a healer. I think
Right.
that's how I did it on my what's it, scoundrel? Is that the flip of the operative?
It is. Yep.
And then once I tried to being a sniper, but I found that that wasn't mobile enough because this was before they kind of changed a lot to make. I mean, recently they've kind of added more stuff that makes every class more mobile. Like I know the trooper has a lot more on the move healing abilities, and I
Yep.
assume that a lot of that also went for the operative and the
They were
sniper.
already pretty mobile.
Yeah, well, it just wasn't really grabbing me as much as some of the other classes, like the
Right.
Sentinel or Marauder. I really enjoy their combat a lot.
2 lightsabers. Can't go wrong.
Exactly. Well, for the dark side, light side event, I chose my main. I'm kind of doing. I believe you're doing the same thing. Have a main character to do most of the things on, and just do the other side 8. Because I think you mentioned that not yesterday, last time.
Mm.
So I chose a Jedi Guardian because that's a class I've never done before, the Guardian or
Ah.
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And it's a Chiss light side called Tautarina, which is, I think, a fantastic name, based off of character, but then from a TV show. But then I added the arena just because, and I think it's really weird. And I was surprised that no one took it because it doesn't feel very Star Wars the name, but it just kind of makes me smile for some reason.
What's the
And-
character? I got to know.
It's just so there's a TV show on Netflix called BoJack Horseman, and my favorite character in that is called Todd, and Todd is voiced by the same person who played Jesse in Breaking Bad, and I love
Oh.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Cool.
So I just decided to take Todd's name, but I realized I hadn't done any female characters except for maybe my Inquisitor, so I wanted to do the voice acting for that,
Right.
and then
Yep.
I just made it Tautarina, and
Cool.
it was just a weird name.
Hmm.
And I'm running through Shadow of Revan and Coffee now for Tier 3. I've completed the first 2 tiers. I have been
Nice.
massively disappointed with the packs. They've been really, really lackluster. And I just haven't been having a lot of fun opening those. But otherwise, it's all right. I mean, the armor is pretty cool, I guess, to use. But it doesn't look very nice, in my opinion. Hence the outfit designer, so you Yeah.
don't have to look at it.
Yeah, that's why I put like a standard Jedi robe over the top,
Right.
which I might change to a more armored look for Coffee, because it doesn't look that good in cutscenes. I want to give a shout out to a player called Seagal, who I met along my leveling because I was doing some heroics. And there's this really, really annoying one on Terrace where you have to kill 5 Rakghouls, and they spawn like every 20 minutes, and it's really, really annoying. So I was in this cavern where you do that, and this player was standing there waiting with me, and they messaged me saying, noticed the guild name, big fan of the show, and then decided to group up with me and, help. So if we did it together, we wouldn't have to,
Compete. Yeah.
compete, which I
Yeah.
hate doing for that.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. I hate competing. But yeah, so they were really nice, and they said that they were a fan of the show. So shout out to them. They're pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Seagull.
And, yeah,
Seagull.
yeah, it's a great name too.
It is.
Next
You're going to
up-
mention Sweaterista's Guide?
Oh yeah. So Sweater Easter's guide on sweatereaster.com for the Dark versus Light is fantastic. It's got all the levels where you can do the flashpoints and where to enter them, and it's been amazing. So
Cool.
big shout out to that. I mean, she's usually really helpful with the academy. I mean, even though I've been playing for a few years now, I still learn stuff in the academy,
Yeah.
and the website is just fantastic. So big thank you for that. So then after the show last week, I woke up too late to watch the show, but I woke up just in time for the Jar Jar Joyride where we did the Xeno boss in story mode and hard mode. So I included a photo of the Utini Knights gang doing
Cool.
Xeno, and
Very
it was
nice.
a lot of fun. I've never done it before, and it was interesting. It reminded me a lot of one boss in Terror from Beyond, where you have to do all these color stuff. It was kind of similar. You have to click panels. But-
Operator 9 in
Yeah.
one you're
Yeah.
thinking of in Terror from Beyond, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really good at names. All I know is Soa, Terror from Beyond, Revan. That's it. I don't raid, but even for an amateur like me, this is always fun. I will try join the Jar 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 raid after the episode today. So
Very cool.
That's been me for the past few weeks, I guess.
Excellent. All right, now, even though Chill isn't here, we do hear his voice, so he did tell us what he was up to this week. Now, quick production break. I'm going to post the MP3, so if you want to listen to what Chill has to say, because I'm not going to play it now, and yeah, we'll move on. All right, thank you, Chill. Now, in my week, I have actually been playing the game because, dark side versus light side and all that. I do feel like I was initially aiming for the legendary tier, and then I'm not sure if sanity returned or I realized just how little time I actually have. And and I remember before I was a parent hearing about parents saying how little time they had. I understand now. I understand. Yes, particularly when you're working as well. So, yeah. Anyway, enough of that. I mentioned last week I was starting Tia, who is a Sith. God, I'm blanking. I made her a Jedi Shadow because I've played a assassin and really enjoyed that. And so, but I didn't actually. I had a level 21 Shadow that I never really got into. So this time I thought I'd play another one. And of course, she's the first female character I've ever played, as Alex mentioned, for the voice acting, so I could actually hear from the other side. It really is a completely different perspective. Now, her gear is really crap because I haven't filled any slots. I'm just using mission rewards, basically, but my presence is so high that it just doesn't matter. I'm using Kaizen, and he just kicks ass, so whatever. But to indicate how little time I actually have, I'm only up to level 15, which is kind of pathetic, because I know I can level a hell of a lot faster than that, but that's just all the time I've had for it. I'm just playing the story, and even though I've said in the past how frustrating it is to not have to do all of the questing, I'm now finding myself frustrated if I don't level every time I hand in a mission, which is a bit sad as well. But yeah, it is cool actually being back on Tython and now on Coruscant. So yeah, I mean, that's content I played through back at launch, like nearly 5 years ago, on all my characters. But I haven't really done many Republic characters since. I've been mainly focusing on Empire since then. So it is kind of cool to be back. But I do sort of wish I was doing all the side missions. I'm doing the planetary arc, of course, but yeah. And I'm not even sure I'll bother with the planetary arc once you get the three pieces, or the complete set of that armor that gives you the 50% XP bonus. Now it's working, apparently. But it was partially broken, so you won't even need to do anything aside from your class quest. I'm not even sure how much of that to get to level 50. And remember, you just have to get to level 50 on each of the 8 classes. You do not need to complete a story. You could just PvP your way through, but class story would be a hell of a lot faster. Probably the fastest way.
I found even before this that you got to level 50 before finishing the class story, so
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of silly. I'm pretty sure you probably get to 65 if you did the class story and the planetary arc. And with level sync, it would still be kind of at least vaguely challenging. Alright, who am I kidding? Now, of course it won't be because it's all so easy now, but yeah. Alright, anyway, that's pretty much my week. My plan going forward is to continue to progress through the event. Remember, we have months for this. They haven't told us when it's going to finish, but chances are it'll probably be sometime in December, ahead of the release of the next expansion. More on that later. Yes. So anyway, it's all happening. Anyway, that is my week.
Shout out to the chat room.
Yes, I just remembered that. And before we move on, a quick shout out to the chat room. We've got Aries5, Barbed Wire Jones, Bell Show, Blacklock Gaming, Hey Blay, Bodaddy, Calico Bones, Count Luku, Darth Brundlefly, Dickion, Dispel53, Drunken Darkside Podcast, Ilion D, Evans04111, Fiona, Hefi, Gahana, Get Vizzy, Noblesse. Hey, Laurie. Urtiz. Jagged Fell. Lord Decamos. Moralan. Otona. Scott Thomas. Siskaetska. The Cool Man Crazy. TreePT. Waste 3. Gate 3. Zamzam. You, of course. And Yams Swotor. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I apologise in advance for Chill not being here. Alright, so let's move on to the tips of the week. Now, I actually only had a couple of tips, and I know I probably shouldn't have done this, but I put out the call for any of your light side versus dark side event tips. And boy, did you guys respond. A lot. So, thank you. Thank you. So, there's plenty of stuff here. There's a certain amount of repetition, so we'll try to get through the tips as quickly and efficiently as we can, but there's a lot of information here which is actually really helpful. So, it'll be worth going through. So, let's start. Of course, not all of them are light side versus dark side, but let's jump in. First tip is from Andrank. My tip for this week is for leveling in flashpoints. When you enter a flashpoint, you can buy medkits. Because everything is scaled these days, a basic medkit gives the same heals as the most expensive. So buy the cheap ones regardless of what level you are. Jeez. Another unintended consequence, I suspect. So I had no idea. Of course, I don't ever use med packs, but why not? So buy the cheapies, and they're apparently as good as the most expensive. Thank you, mate. Next tip is from Phlox. This one's kind of more of a philosophical bent, but no matter if you are new to the game or not, you might want to look up more. I know that sounds a bit dull, but I find it quite interesting to look at the sky or the different ceilings from time to time. They often animated some beautiful things. Too bad everyone is only looking at the ground most of the time. The ancient Hypergate PvP map, for example, has an especially pretty sky. I know that some of my PvP friends that played the game since launch never noticed it until I pointed it out. So yeah, it's not the most helpful tip out there, but it might make replaying the game a bit more colourful. That is a great tip, because I'm one of those people who's just laser focused on whatever the hell I'm doing, and I never look around. So yeah, but if you do look around, there's some amazing stuff. And remember, there is that trick where you can pan your camera way, way, way back. You have to change your settings, and you can see some pretty amazing stuff when you zoom all the way out. Yeah. It's a fantastic worlds that they built. I remember that clip from James Olin when he was talking about in that BioWare documentary just how much effort went into creating the original worlds in Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's just incredible. So amazing. Okay, now here's our first light side versus dark side tip. From AJ, who is Yarjard on Jedi Covenant and the Harbinger. Here is his list of tips. Do the PvP intro and PvP daily. The PvP daily is 110,000 experience as a subscriber with guild bonus and XP boost consumable. And while you're at it, might as well pick up the weekly. Stockpile mats on your current character. You can easily get to max crafting skill by only crafting the components, which they added in their recent revamp of the crafting system. The components can also be reverse engineered to earn back mats and augment kit components. It gives the grades and skill ranges, which I won't go through. I'll include those in the show post. It goes all the way from grade 1 to grade 9. You will usually need more of the first 3 grades based on the larger skill range, which is an interesting point. Of course, those are very easy to get, particularly if you go back to the starter worlds. Now, my own strategy with that is on my leveling characters, I'm just going to give them gathering skills, so they basically pick up mats, and the other 6 that will run through the class story, those ones will be my 6 crafters, and so I'll have stockpiled mats for them to just blow through the crafting, just to get the crafting skills done, and they'll have to pick up the other mission skills and all the rest of it. Oh, sorry, it is just the 6 crafting ones, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Alright. It is most efficient to switch to the next crafting grade as soon as you reach the minimum skill required. Note that you will need to visit a crafting crew skill trainer to learn the component recipe as you increment up in levels of crafting. Okay, 3. Do the crafting on your long-term characters, one light side and one dark side, since they will unlock companions naturally through the story. From there, either drop the crafting skill once maxed and grab another one on a long-term character, or simply just create a new character. Now, that's different to what I had in mind, but you can see the advantage, because the more companions you have, the more you can send out as you get higher in levels, until you end up with this 6 once you hit level whatever. What level do you get the 6? Is it 60?
Yeah, it's 60, I think, because that was added with
Nice.
Shadow of Revan.
Shadow of Revan it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and leveling to, because remember, all you have to do is hit that max, and then you can just delete the crew skill. As long as you got the achievement in your legacy, you're good. So you could actually do it on the same character. All 6 crafting skills. Seems like such a waste, but that's what you got to do. I got to say, one thing about this event which really sticks in my craw is having to spend 1,000,000 credits on that deco to get that achievement. I assume you can't just return it and get a refund, but
Might be
can
able
you? Maybe I should try that and find
That's
out.
quite a common thing you can do, but
I
like
wonder.
costume decorations. I mean, those costume pieces you buy from the social vendors, you can always refund those. So
Interesting. So if anyone out there tries that, I'm not sure I want to do that particular experiment. Someone who's got way too many credits and doesn't matter taking the loss if necessary. Huh. Next, also on the long-term characters, grab Diplomacy as one of your crew skills for another way to gain light side or dark side points to reach the tier 5 achievement. So
I'm
yeah,
doing
just
this.
remember. Yeah, I'm doing it too, and it works well. But remember, that will not move the needle of the light side versus dark side, which is overall throughout the game to actually pick the new companion. Speaking of companions, HK 51 can be unlocked through Legacy with 1,000,000 credits it completed previously. If HK 51 is not unlocked, Section 10 authorization and HK 51's mission must be completed. HK's mission will eventually require gathering droid components. These will be scattered among various locations, but the hardest to acquire would be in the flashpoints. The flashpoints will cover both Republic-only and Imperial-only ones, so you will need a character on each faction, which you're doing anyway for this whole event. So, and you do have to do the flashpoints anyway, so it's actually not that big a deal. Though it would make sense to unlock HK as quickly as you can, so that you're able to get those components, because if you're not on the mission, the components won't appear in those flashpoints. Note that you may get an invalid weapon requirement message for unlocking HK-51 early because his scoped assassinator sniper rifle is level 50. Okay, that's easy enough to work around. Because you can just stick any weapon on your companion, it really doesn't matter anymore. It's really just there for show. Related to companions are Alliance alerts. If you were sub prior to Knights of the Fallen Empire and earned the Nico Okar companion sub reward, then you can do as Alliance alert at any time on multiple characters using the quest item that you get in the mail, and you just do it 5 times to get the achievement to do the 5 Alliance alerts. With that, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Regarding the Living Plague achievement, which requires 50 Rakghoul kills, this can be completed on Taris, so any Rakghoul will do, even though the SWTOR event guide says otherwise, but Taris Rakghouls do count. Oops. However, you will need to wait for the Rakghoul Resurgence event in order to complete the Plague Bearer, to actually catch the Rakghoul Plague. Speculation, I'm curious if the Greed Droid Slayer objective could be finished in Terror from Beyond. Interesting. I would guess not, actually, but if anyone can let us know if that's possible, because there's plenty of droids, Greed Droids of the same type, at least visually, in Terror from Beyond. If you have geared out in-game characters already but don't have the mirror on the opposite faction, then it would be wise to make the mirror as one of your event characters. You can share legacy armor and not have to worry about the in-game gear grind. Not that you really have to worry too much. The stuff you pick up along the way and buy with crystals will be just fine for everything you need to do. Remember, it just tops out at Operations Story Mode gear. That's it. You just do those 5 operation bosses, and you can do that with 65 starter gear, basically. There are probably other tips I'm missing, and I'm sure some of these will be repeated by others. Damn straight. Hope it helps. Alright, so thank you, AJ. Next are from Vonadar. Hello there, I play on the Harbinger. My main tune is Zario, and I'm a member of the guilds Imperial War Titans and Sith Supremacy. And you can find him on Twitter at Vonador Swotor. He's got some basic tips and tricks that he's thought about. Some of these are pretty basic, but every little tip can help, he says. Unlock all the XP boosts in your character perks, especially the class mission boost, flashpoint boosts, and warzone boosts. If you can afford it, just saying, that's a lot of stuff to expend on a throwaway character. But yes, it will get you there that much quicker. Do not complete all objectives for the final tier of rewards before getting the objective on a level 50 of each class. If you've done all the other objectives on your main Dark Side versus Light Side tune, let's just call that DVL from now on, then the last class tune you reach to 50 will fulfill the requirement, and that will be the tune you get the final DVL packs on. So the point there is that you don't get complete sets in the DVL packs that are the reward at each tier, and thus if you actually want to complete a set, so it will be unlockable through collections, you want all those packs to be gained on the same character. But whenever you actually complete that tier in your legacy, whoever you complete that final achievement on is the one who gets the packs. So you really have to just think about it and make sure you have able to tick over that final achievement always on the same character, so that one character gets all the packs, if you possibly can. And Bioware did talk about this during the live stream, and they're thinking of some way to make that better, and they haven't said how. So, at least for now, that's the way it works. Alright, repeatedly completing Black Talon or the Essalus in solo mode is great for XP, and not a bad way to farm Dark Side and Light Side points. That's true. Class storyline is a pretty decent way to level and gain Dark Side and Light Side points. Also very true because of the massively changed experience curve with Knights of the Fallen Empire. Yeah. I don't know what this next one is. Makes offers a decent amount. Oh, McKeb offers a decent amount of Dark Side or Light Side points too. Diplomacy is great for this event for farming Light Side and Dark Side points. When Bounty Contract Week comes around, another way to farm Dark Side and Light Side points is to complete the first part of a bounty quest by utilising either the interrogation probes or friendly drinks for the Dark Side and Light Side points. Then proceed to the part where you meet with a contract, meet usually in a cantina, and also have a Light Side and Dark Side conversation option as well. Once you complete the conversation, you complete a quest that grants Light Side and Dark Side points. It should only take several minutes after starting the bounty. You can then reset the bounty quest and repeat this process for points, Light Side, Dark Side points. Yeah, okay. Why not? Yeah. Though, honestly, diplomacy, as you're just doing other stuff, is probably the easiest way. Yeah, I mean, it will cost you credits to send them missions, are more expensive as you go up, but really...
Well, we need Bounty Contract Week for one of the legendary tiers. You've got to complete 3 contracts, so, you know, just do this along the way, I guess.
Along the way?
Bounty Contract Week comes around.
Yeah, yeah, true.
I don't know.
Yeah, every month. So, it'll turn up a few times.
Yeah, definitely.
Planetary storylines, usually start from an NPC in a spaceport that has a purple icon over its head, are another decent way to get some light side and dark side points. Over the course of the planetary storyline, there should be at least several light side, dark side choices to be made. Always to farm the points, but see earlier note about diplomacy. Right when you hit level 10, pick up the Intro to Warzone quest and do some war zones, because remember you do have to do 5 and reach Valor 5. Also pick up the daily quest. These several quests, especially with Warzone XP boost for the end of the Warzones themselves, can easily get you 5 or more levels. Cool. Heroics, especially in groups of 4, because of the incremental increase in rewards per person in a group, are another great way for quick leveling. Don't sweat about queuing for Group Finder for Assault on Tython, Korriban Incursion, Deaths of Manan, all the ones you get in Shadow of Revan, or lead up to and during Shadow of Revan. These are all mandatory within the Shadow of Revan storyline anyway, and the Shadow of Revan completion is a light side versus dark side objective, and can be completed in story mode when the appropriate time in this storyline comes. But do those count as the tacticals, the 21 tacticals that you have to do? If you do them solo, I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It does?
Actually. I've been doing it that way, and it
Fantastic. All right, thank you, Alex.
Real
cool.
Easy.
All right, that's a repeat. Get into a guild with a 10% bonus, XP bonus. That 10% will add up while leveling to level 50. And one such guild, or two such guilds with 10% XP bonus is Utini Knights and Utini Rage on the Harbinger. Just saying. Happy adventuring. Now, Suki repeats the tip about
I'll
opening...
just-
Sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to point out that they did say that the diplomacy missions don't count for the light side versus dark side total.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Now, let's just mention that in passing. They did actually publish the current where the needle is pointing between light side and dark side, at least this week. And dark side is at 51%.
Ooh.
They had mentioned that the average was certainly the other way. It was more light side, but clearly people are focusing on getting that dark side companion. So,
The Chiss one is so much better.
yeah.
really
So,
want that Chiss
just out
one.
of interest, does anyone know, is there in the Star Wars lore, are the Chiss force sensitive or not?
I don't know.
My understanding is that it's incredibly rare.
Ah, okay.
From my understanding,
But
it
I'm
was-
possible.
not an expert. That's
there
my-
was.
my understanding.
I do
Okay.
remember from old Legends, there was this one kids. I don't know if this was Legends canon. There was this one kids Clone Wars book where there was this Jedi Padawan who was also a Chiss. But now in canon, I don't think the Chiss have officially reappeared.
That's true, isn't it?
So,
Though there's all kinds of rumours of
About
Grand Admiral
season
Thrawn
3.
reappearing. Yes, so
I'm
the
looking
Chiss will
forward
be
to that.
back.
hopefully,
Yes, yes.
there's also
Alright.
a rumor about Benicio del Toro's character in Episode 8 being a Chiss. But anyway.
Oh,
yeah,
oh, cool.
but who knows?
I also heard a rumour about Luke Skywalker in Episode 9. Anyway, we'll see.
Hmm.
Next tip from Suki. He just repeated the one about opening your light side versus dark side boxes on the same character. Remember, complete the tier on the same character if you possibly can, if you want to complete those sets. DR2000 said, we had a discussion in Guild Chat about the awards, and I thought it would make sense to bring this simple tip to everyone's attention. Armor that you get from the DVL boxes... DR2000 also repeats exactly the same tip about the boxes. Now here we got a tip from Anonymous. And since Bioware hasn't fixed the problem, if you get different parts of the...
Yeah.
Here's, let me just read through this, make sure it's worth repeating.
Dekion mentioned in the chat room that he's also using Sword Racer's guide, which is
Excellent.
the right way to go in my opinion. Blacklock says is Luke a secret Chiss.
That'd be a surprise. Alright, now, Anonymous provides a way of running through the event, as in a sequence of stuff to do, going through the tiers, to ensure that you unlock those boxes on the same character. So what I'll do is include his procedure in the show notes, if you want to follow that. So that is very cool. He did mention at the end, it's not common knowledge, but it says on the webpage the rewards are 1 per account, but currently the rewards are per legacy, so in theory you complete the event on each server. And he's gotten the level 25 rewards on 2 different servers. So the way that actually works is the rewards that are delivered at the end of each tier on the character that we've just been talking about. Yes, you can do that many times as you want in as many servers across multiple servers. Obviously 1 per server because it is a per legacy thing. The rewards that are delivered at the end of the event are account wide. So no matter what you do, you will end up with them on every character on every server. And that includes the mounts, for example. So they have clarified that. But yes, the packs, you can certainly get a plethora of packs across multiple servers if you do the event on multi-servers. But dear God, do you really want to do that?
No.
If you got the time, why not? Alright. Alright, next tip is from a Reptor from the HVND Guild on the Harbinger. And he belongs to the guild that Night and Sin started up the Have a Nice Day cast. So, very nice, mate.
Oh, I
And he
didn't
says...
realise they were HV&D.
I didn't
I like
either.
that.
So there you go.
Oh.
Now, after listening to your latest episode last night, I thought I would share an additional tip for the event. The Dark vs. Light Living Plague achievement that requires you to defeat 50 rat ghouls. So a Reptor Gen mentions what we've already talked about, the tip about killing rat ghouls on Taurus. So you don't have to wait until the rat ghoul event to do that, to kill your 50 rat ghouls. Also, when working on the tactical flashpoints, remember you can hold off on the 6 associate. He also mentions the Shadow of Revan doing those solo to get the tacticals ticked off.
I've been doing that. It's easier that way, I guess.
Definitely. This is going to be an editing nightmare as I edit out, as I backtrack and shit, but whatever. Next is, it'll be a lot tighter, hopefully, in the recorded version, in the published version. Next tip is from Karanome. The 40% set bonus now gives 32% bonus instead of 0. What's his point? He's talking about the... what is it? What's a VPA? It's a victorious something.
The
Is it Pioneer? No, it's not. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Victorious Pine Armor 5? What? Maybe it's a 5 set it. Victorious Pioneer's Armor Health. I think
God.
VPA 5 is referring to the 5 pieces of
The 5-piece
VPA.
bonus. Yeah, I just want to know the name of the armor.
Victorious Pioneer's Armor, I believe.
It is? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Alright, so Karanome's tip is he talks about the fact that the Victorious Pioneer's armor, the one with the XP bonus, was kind of bugged, but however it is now fixed. And bottom line is wear that armor because apparently it's actually pretty good. We had heard that previously, so yeah, as well as the XP bonus, it's actually not too bad. He also says Bioware designed a gap in the leveling. Regardless of your efforts, there is a hard gate on getting the full XP set bonus until the end of the month. People do what they want, but Bioware designed it to disadvantage the players who lack the impulse control to wait until next month to level their last 7 characters when they have finished the maximum XP bonus. How do they hard gate it? Does it actually require the Rat Ghoul event, the 4th one?
No, I think it requires the last chapter.
Oh, lol, yeah.
Yeah.
Chapter 16, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, we're getting through it, guys. We're getting there. Next tips are from TrickBT. After a break from the game, I've been leveling new tunes on North American servers as a preferred player. With the Dark vs. Light event starting, I now wanted to create a couple of tunes on my home server, but due to preferred status restrictions, I'd have to delete 5 existing ones before being allowed to create a new one. Not a problem, I hadn't used a referral link for over a year, so tracked one down on the Utini site and used it. This gave me 7 days of sub access, which allowed me all the perks of a sub, including access to those empty character slots. Very cool. Now for the tip part. If you read the blurb hidden on the website regarding the referral system, it says previous subscribers enjoy 7 days of subscription at level access with unlimited access to missions and features up to level 50. Plus the following being the preferred access bundle, and once per lifetime account character transfer. So imagine my surprise when on my main I clicked on the play button for chapter 10 expecting this level 65 content to be locked, only to find it actually worked. I played through chapter 10 and then some of 11 without any issues. I'm still in the middle of my 7 days, so don't know if I permanently unlock the chapters up to 15 or I'll lose it when the 7 days expire. Kind of wish I stumbled across this at the end of July and not the beginning, but oh well, I'd still need to sub for the event at some point. Use this info. Well, wow. So, there you go. You may want to use that at your discretion, I guess.
Does it?
Guess we...
That's a little fishy.
If it works, it works.
It
This
works.
is
But
yeah.
it's probably
I
not
don't-
intended.
unclear.
imagine
If it
so.
works like this, I honestly can't say it's bugged. This may be exactly what they intend. I don't know. Anyway, they may fix it before chapter 16 comes out, so you may have to sub anyway. Now, next is from one of our deck officers, actually he's now a general in our Utini guilds, Decion. And he says, "Hi, Tia." Yeah. Here are a few tips for players who remember when leveling their Dark versus Light alts to level 65. Remember when you run the solo mode flashpoints, you can group up with 3 other players. Each of you will have a Jesus droid. And yeah, that's just it's possible and extremely silly. I've duoed flashpoints with 2 Jesus droids, and
Wow.
yeah, it's bizarre. They're just ridiculous, especially when there's 2 of them, or 4 in this case.
Yeah. I saw Decion running, asking people to run. If I wasn't already in a flashpoint, I would have joined him. Because that sounds incredible.
It is. If you're on flashpoints in solo mode and don't run with a group or only run with another person, make sure you swap out your companions to maximize the number of kills you get with each. This is especially helpful if you begin Knights of the Fallen Empire and no longer have access to your original companions to get the achievement. This will also get you a DVL achievement when you run with HK51. There you go. With Legacy class missions XP boosts, 3 sets of XP gear and an XP boost, story missions are worth 140,000 XP apiece after level 655. Wow. Okay. When power crafting the 550, focus on components for each skill. They only take 1 to 3 minutes and take 2 premium mats and 1 mat from the crafting vendor, the white stuff. Do this at a high level and you can send out 5 at a time. So yes. Definitely worth doing it when you got multiple companions available. Oh, create your outfit designer slots early. The cost scales with your level. I didn't know this, so I'm going to unlock a slot or 2.
Dear.
If you have a look for your Space Barbie in mind, the sooner the better. My phone wasn't on silent. Let me just repeat that because it'll be on my mic. If you have a look for your Space Barbie in mind, the sooner the better. Purchase armor, mods, and enhancements, hilts and barrels from crystal vendors on the fleet with end-level alts that have hundreds of crystals. Use legacy gear to transfer back and forth. You can actually just send the mods directly if you like, because they're bind and equip. Full sets of gear of pieces will cost 50 green crystals. So, nice, Decion. Thank you very much. He also created a timeline for users to reference when trying to get to Tier 3, which I'll include in the show post. I could just read it out, but I'm repeating myself a lot. We're nearly through. In fact, one more tip. Last tip is from Chronossi of the Has a Bad Feeling Guild on the Shadowlands. Starting fresh on a new server and need some credits. If you have Cartel coins, buy 1 or more of the latest Cartel packs. Don't open it, wait until it's unbound and sell it on the GTN. You should be able to sell for 1 million or more credits. Also, if you're part of the DVL event, you will also get an achievement for making 1 million credits. Alright, so since we had such a great response, we're going to enhance the prize pool a little bit this week. So I've randomly picked 2 winners, who are Trig PT and Vonador. Congratulations, guys. You will each get a code for 450 Cartel coins and your choice of a Torn Fawn or M83R pet. And our 2 runners-up are AJ and Anonymous. You guys will get a Cartel pack and, again, your choice of a pet. And for next week, if you send in a tip for your chance to win the same, send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com by next Tuesday, and for a chance to win a Torn Fawn or M83R droid pet code, courtesy of Bioware, and an OotiniCast provided Cartel pack. I'm not going to be that generous every week. Wow, how far in are we? Jesus Christ, I thought this would be a short show. All right.
Really?
I did. Actually, once I edit it down, it won't be too bad.
Yeah, wow.
Alright. That will bring us to the holofeed. Me? Yeah, sorry. I've got a dog trying to crawl into my lap. You probably can't see him on camera, but...
Oh, I can see him.
Yes, he's getting a bit
I see
sooky.
him.
What a cutie.
Yes, he is. Let me just settle him in. Right. First up, just a quick mention, apparently there's been a lot of spam from people, just mail spam or whatever, from credit sellers. Bioware is aware of it and they will try and shut it down. But remember, the best thing you can do is report it. Do that right-click, report spam, always. And if they get enough reports, they will shut down the offending account. But they won't know until you tell them. They're not actively able to search for them, apparently. And there's just easy ways for them to avoid detection unless they're reported. Alright, next, on Tuesday, during the regular maintenance period, we did have patch 4.6a deployed. This was talked about during the live stream. So let's just quickly cover what's in it. Firstly, they did increase the maximum number of character slots per server for free-to-play, preferred, and subscriber players to 22 slots, 26 slots, and 50 slots respectively. So free-to-play get 22, preferred get 26, and subs get 50 slots. Now note, they are not actually giving you those slots, they are unlocking the ability for you to pay for those slots. You can use unlocks on the GTN, but I'm betting the price of those has gone up, and they are currently discounted from the usual 600 cartel coins to only 450. Sigh. Someone really wants to get in touch with me. Sorry, my phone just rang again. Anyway. Also in the patch, color crystals obtained from the Forcebound DVL boxes are now unlocked in collections as intended. So that was a bug. Everything you get, all those items that you get through the DVL event are intended to be in collections, so you can get them on your other characters, and hence that whole thing about sets and unlocking them on other characters and all the rest. It's now possible to unlock the 6th cargo bay tab with the account unlock option. I didn't know this wasn't possible. And I notice I've now got 6 unlocked on my characters, and I don't remember if I did that. Yeah, so I'm a little confused by that.
I
But
didn't know you could get 6.
I know, so I now have 6. And like I said, I
didn't
don't
know.
remember doing it, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
I
I
only
knew
have
they
3.
put out the Legacy 6 tab, but yeah. I didn't
Oh,
use
yeah.
that for cargo
Yeah.
holds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Now for the cartel market and cartel packs, the Grand Chance cubes will no longer drop invalid items. Oops. That's a little unfortunate. I wonder how they remedied that for the people who had actually got the Grand Chance cubes and got the bad items. The Bog Stalker Handler's License can now be used by players who have a Ginks Companion. Yahoo! The Victorious Pioneers 5-piece set bonus now properly applies as XP boost. As mentioned earlier, it was bugged, but now it's not. So it only took them a week to fix that. And additionally, there is no longer a status icon indicating your set bonus-related experience gain. Aww. So they took it away, probably because that was part of the bug. So that's unfortunate. Just know that I believe it's 25%, 15%, and 10% for the 3 tiers and you get the various bits each time. Jawa junk stacks now always drop at the maximum quantity possible. So for the green, the scavenge scrap, you get 15 per stack. For the assorted droid parts, which is the blue, you get 10. And for Jawa junk, the purple, you get 3 per stack. So always the max. Because those were dropping out of the new packs, and it sounds like it was just random how many you actually got. So now it will always drop the max, and if you open them prior to this patch, I'm guessing they're not going to compensate you. So, whoops. Players can no longer become unable to progress through Chapter 15 through that particular conversation choice that they worked around last week, so now it's all cool, you can choose that option. And finally, players are no longer randomly killed in Alliance Proving Grounds, that U8v8. Of course, I wonder how often that was happening. That's kind of funny, actually.
It was probably a more rare occurrence. It happened a lot in PTS, but it was pretty funny on the PTS, but yeah.
Oh
I
dear.
didn't
That
know it
happened
was
to
still
me.
happening on live.
Lol. Just adding a bit of colour to the map, just randomly killing players. What if it was only like one side or something? That'd be even funnier. Like the
Yeah.
Republic. Yeah.
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 But we don't know. We'll assume it's not. Now, next, talking about that Warzone intro mission giving like 100,000 plus credits, 100,000 plus XP. There was talk about this on Reddit. Someone mentioned it as a PSA, public service announcement. And Eric Musker actually commented in the Reddit thread mentioning, yeah, it's a bug, but in the meantime, knock yourselves out. They're probably not going to fix it for the DVL event. They're just going to let you do it. So, yes, it is kind of wrong, but it's okay to use it. It has BioWare's stamp of approval. So, by all means, make use of that. Now, lastly, in the SWTOR news, and there's a fair amount to go through, is the July producer livestream, which went longer than the normal half hour. Actually went 45 minutes. Watched it a couple of times. Features... Sorry, the dog. It features Eric Musco, community manager, Ben Irving, producer, and Charles Boyd, lead creative lead, whatever he is now. Now, Dolphy provided some fantastic notes, very detailed, which I'll use as for us to go through. She also put up the YouTube version of it, or you can just watch it directly on Twitch if you don't mind buffering. And there is a post on SWTOR.com that's summarized in the forums, summarizing what they talked about. So we'll start with the state of the galaxy. What do we want to cover? I'll just hit stuff that we haven't talked about previously. They did mention the change to the price, that the Gemini packs in this chapter are more expensive, and why. And we talked about that last week. Gus Tuno is delayed because of that bug. This is new. Now, we talked last week about heroic mission rewards being nerfed. Now, firstly, that was just a reward for completion. The bonus credits were the same. And they said, yeah, we really should have put it in the patch notes. We're really sorry, and they're going to revert it in the next game update. So, as of game update 4.7, so the next major release, the heroic rewards will be back to what they were. Jesus. Sorry. It's very awkward. Story companions. With Fallen Empire, they wanted to make this. They wanted the story to really have teeth, and so you can lose companions. And so what they're actually referring to is in Chapter 15, there is one particular companion who may or may not be a fembot, that as you progress through the story at the end of it, and no matter what choice you make, I believe, that particular companion will leave you. And if you had chosen that companion and had been ranking up to 50 as the one companion you wanted to go through, just play with, you're SOL, basically. So what they're going to do to fix that is use that table that's in your alliance base on Odessen, and you'll be able to get that particular fembot back and any character you lose through story. So it's kind of weird. That character is off doing something else, but you can actually still use them as a companion.
Does that include a certain companion you may or may not lose in Chapter 1?
No, they said
It does not. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they explicitly specified.
That is so disappointing.
I think, yeah. They're introducing it after Chapter 16, I think. Is that what they said? I think so.
Yes. Yeah, as Rachel said, you'll be able to do that sometime after Chapter 16, in that massive gulf between the end of Chapter 16 and whatever happens next.
I figured out my way around it is by getting the influence up on one of the companions who has a chance to leave you, but in my story didn't, so that they won't be involved in the story anymore, because that's how they're going to do it. So there's no way that they can leave in the future.
Very clever. That's very clever. Yes, because if there was a chance of a character dying, you can damn well know that they're just not going to participate in the story anymore. So, nice work, Alex. That makes sense. Now, they also talked about group content. Yeah, which is, well, obviously something we've been banging on about for a fair while. Anyway, they said they are currently working on group content, but they did not say that it was an operation, a Flashpoint, or a Warzone. They just said they are working on group content. And they'll be able to talk about it in the next few months. So don't expect it anytime soon. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. And I'm not sure how to interpret that. Is it going to be an operation, a Flashpoint, and or a Warzone, or is it going to be something else?
All three.
Who knows? Could be anything.
It could be, Could it could
Very
be
nice.
like a PVE starfighter? As no, that's completely unlikely. That's a dumb suggestion.
It's not a dumb suggestion. That would be fantastic. It's just
It
very
would,
unlikely.
but
It does
yeah,
satisfy the criteria. It is group content.
Yeah.
that would be actually really cool.
Indeed.
I take back my
Indeed.
statement about it being a dumb.
No,
suggestion.
let's go with that. Let's assume that's what's happening. That's great. All right, in the last stream, they did talk about the Gemini Deception, Chapter 15. And yeah, we obviously already covered that. Lots of cool gameplay stuff they added in the chapter. I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about there. A lot of running backwards and forwards.
I think they're mentioning the new traps and like
Oh,
there's
of
this
course.
there's this new effect that when you get poisoned or on fire by natural stuff, there's like this fire like effect around your screen. You
Oh, I
I've
didn't
got a
even notice
photo
that.
of it.
Oh,
I've got
cool.
a photo of it, but I haven't included it in the show notes. But it's really just cool to see that. It kind of takes me out of the game a little bit because it marks out the screen, but
Right.
it's still pretty cool to see, and
Okay.
it lets you know, oh, you're on fire.
Nice. All right. They mentioned some community contributions, such as SWOTOR Crafter, and New Overlords has got a DVL event tracker. That's Max of the SWOTOR Escape podcast. So nice work, Max. Many, and they did talk about all of the stuff that the community has done, all these guides that people have done for the DVL event. So generally nice work. Though SWOTOR's was good, a whole lot of people have enhanced that and done much, just put it together in a different way. Subscriber reward, it is now too late to get the HK55 Victory Stronghold decoration. You had to be subbed on July 1st to get that reward and get early access to Chapter 16, which will be on July 26th, with the actual proper release on July 28th. So pretty much 4 weeks later, that's it. That's Chapter 16. That's the end of Season 1 and Knights of the Fallen Empire.
Wow.
And we'll see where that ends up. You can... Yeah, I guess I'm speculating where that'll end up, but what happens next? As Charles Boyd made a point of saying, sometimes endings are new beginnings. Now, leading on to that, we have Star Wars Celebration. They're going to be there for all 3 days at the EA Star Wars booth. So Star Wars The Old Republic is actually getting some pretty solid representation. And there'll be an EA Star Wars panel on Saturday, July 16th from 7 to 8 p.m. GMT. I'll actually do some time zone translation for that, which I'll put into the show notes.
Oh, good.
And also the London Cantina will be on Saturday, July 16 from 8 to 11 p.m. at the Fox XL. It's their biggest gaming presence in Celebration history, with EA there and all the Star Wars games at the moment. And the guys on the live stream made a point to say they will be making some announcements on that EA Star Wars panel. James Olin will apparently be there talking, and you will really want to tune in.
Yeah.
What could they possibly be talking about? Well, it turned out that, and this was via Dolphy and various other places, somewhere on the EA Star Wars webpage, actually, where was it? On the list of stuff that's going to be up at Celebration for EA, they accidentally posted what it would be. And it says Star Wars Battlefront Death Star, Star Wars The Old Republic, Kotet, and then Galaxy of Heroes mobiles. Kotet. Kotet. Now the speculation is that is the next expansion. That is probably going to be announced at Celebration. It will probably be coming out at the end of the year. And the guess is Knights of the Eternal Throne is what Kotet stands for. This is not official. Who knows? It could be anything. It may even be a typo for something else. I mean, who knows? But yes. Sounds like we were bang on. We were right on the money. We were saying there would be an expansion, Season 2, and probably would be announced and be available towards the end of the year. As to when, last year, Kotfi was available around October. So it could be around then, or they could delay it a bit for the 5-year anniversary, maybe.
Rogue One. Get that Rogue One hype.
That's true, and Rogue One is coming out late December.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the exact. It's the same day as Force Awakens -1, I think, or
Yeah,
+1. I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's right. We just got it late in Australia because
Oh, we got it early.
in
A
Singapore.
day early. Yeah.
Ha. All right,
Yeah,
and then
laugh.
finally, is it finally? Yes. Finally, they talked about the Dark versus Light event. And firstly, and I gotta say this part is a little bit weak because they just emphasize that this event is for revisiting the game, playing through all the content that has been added over the last 5 years, and it is not a way of rewarding veteran players because they have done all this cool stuff for veteran players. Specifically, that legendary thing where you got the icon for the having completed all 8 class stories, which is now so quick and easy it almost doesn't matter anymore. But there you go. And also, subscriber rewards. Yep. And HK51 chapter if
Yeah.
you were subscribed from the beginning of Knights of the Fallen Empire. So, again, this is all just in line with the way they have basically framed this event. It is for, if not new players, and just playing through all the stuff again. And that's okay. That's just what it is. I mean, it does kind of suck that some of the sort of more time-consuming things couldn't be retrospective, but they made it clear they are not, like we were hoping last week, going to make it retroactive. They are not going to make it retroactive. So, just got to do it again. And they made it so quick that really it's not so bad. Doing all those flashpoints again is a little bit onerous, just saying.
The hard modes are going to be the worst.
Yeah, there's going to be, join a guild, ideally, and do it with friends. Otherwise, you're going to have to pug it up.
The Utini guilds, they've got a lot of great organized, like, I'm just looking at the website now. It's like every day or two or whatever, it's got like this time frame for leveling DVL. It's really great organizing on Utini's part.
It is. Those guys have all done some solid work there. I'm just afraid, personally, I'm going to really drag behind on this, and I'm going to have to end up pugging, but so be it. I'm just not in a hurry. I don't see the big rush because we need stuff to do over the next few months because it's not like they're going to rush out Season 2 or have anything else really to do. So, yeah, don't be too much a hurry, guys. Karen, they talked about that. They did talk about the bind rules for the Dark versus Light packs, the fact that it is bind on pickup rather than bind on legacy, and that's so you can unlock it in collection. They are looking at some way of making that a bit cleverer, because it's just kind of painful at the moment, particularly if you end up with the packs on different characters and those sets from different, items from different sets, and you want them to unlock them in collection. So they are thinking of some way of around that, but they didn't say what it would be. Giles Boyd did give a bit of colour about the 2 potential companions, and just a reminder, it is whichever side, light side or dark side, accumulates the most points via player choices across the entire game. That's every server. It isn't like server specific or anything like that. That will determine which of these 2 characters comes into existence. The other one will not, apparently, and everyone will get whichever the companion for the side that won. It's not your own personal choices, not your server's choices. What everyone chose will determine which of the 2 characters comes into existence. And they are Master Ranos from the Red Jedi Order. He doesn't always follow orders. He likes to walk the earth and check in with people. Follow the will of the Force. Sort of like a nomad wanderer. Whereas Dark's Hexed is a dark side companion. Charles Boyd described as the Sithiest of the Sith. Or the Sithiest Sith that ever Sithed, I believe is the direct quote. And he wants to eliminate anything Zakulan. So, got to say, the dark side one does sound kind of cooler. So,
Come on, light side, we can do it.
and they're both Chiss, are they not?
No, the dark side is
No.
is a Zabrak.
Zabrak.
The red
Yeah.
Zabrak, yeah.
Okay.
Like Maul.
Right.
It's even got the double bladed the unstable arbiter's dual saber. So the Kylo Ren
Right.
effect one.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas the light side Chiss, she has 2 vented lightsabers. So
Cool.
It's just Kylo Ren lightsabers or other Kylo Ren lightsabers.
Yeah, they're getting a little passe. They're everywhere.
It's lore accurate, kind of.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
Yeah.
More or less, if you don't think too hard and willing to do a bit of...
Well, if you just kind of watch Rebels, you'll see that there are. It's from the.
Sure.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot of players are participating. They were talking about servers spun up with lots and lots of players on the starter worlds,
Yeah.
just like launch, which is nice. And it means you could be fighting for mobs, though I don't think many of the missions actually, for especially class story, actually require mobs out in the open world, so it shouldn't be too bad. And you don't need to do anything else. The Eternal Championship. Remember, you have to get through all 10 rounds if you want to get to that final tier. You can do that in the group. So remember, solo plus, you may not get the rewards, but you can actually get the achievement that you need for the DVL event. Just seeing if I missed anything that we haven't talked about already. As we speculated last week, you do have to complete the lower tiers before you can complete the higher tiers of the DVL event, but you can do work towards the achievements from all the tiers whenever you want. So you can be making progress in all tiers where it's relevant, all the way through. You just can't get to like tier 4 until you've completed tier 3. But if you've done everything else you need for tier 4, as soon as you complete tier 3, you'll just tick over and get tier 4 too, is basically the way it works. So you don't have to stagger it. It's all just, everything you do from now is all contributing to all 6 tiers where there are relevant achievements. And finally, there was a bit of a Q&A. No plans on returning the Nar Shaddaa event in the near future, but they know it's a popular event and looking to add it back. That's the gambling event on Nar Shaddaa. And they also...
I ever played.
Say again?
It was the first event I ever played. It was actually really fun, but because I was only preferred status at that time, I blew through my credits so quickly.
Yes, it did have that effect. That's where I got my Rancor, so I'm pretty happy with
I
that.
didn't even get anything good.
Aw.
I still have the certificates lying
I
around.
still haven't got the Rancor from that event.
Boo.
Me neither.
Now, they also mentioned the DVL event may affect more than just the companions that you can get, but they're still working on that and no promises. So, something else might happen. Alright, anyway, that's SWOTOR news. Let's quickly move over to community. Thanks to our latest Utini patron, Luke. Actually, he called himself something else. Hell, let me check that. Sorry. Count.
Chat room.
Utini patron, Patreon. Nearly there. 1 second. I know it's great radio. Thanks to our latest Utini patron, Count Luku. Which is kind of cool. Now, we heard from an old friend from SWOTOR Apps. That's Davison of the Harbinger. And he's talked to us about his SWOTOR Apps in the past, but things sort of slowed down a bit with those guys. But they actually ran into a few problems with what they had in mind. However, they're re-releasing the site. It is live now. It went live on July the 1st. And he's got a bunch of friends helping to contribute. He hasn't got a full list of what they're going to be doing, but the following should be live right now. A character manager, which is an outfit manager and operations lockouts, will be coming later in the week, so it should be live now. Character APIs. Users may enable API access for each of their characters to allow other developers to access information about their characters for their own projects. So that is, you put in your character using their character manager, and then other people can build on that using other stuff, which is kind of cool. An early preview of the LFG looking for guild tool. Nice. Vanguard tanking guide, Eternity Vault, story mode and hard mode guides, and a guide to the DVL event. These are very nice guys. And they're also going to be launching a DVL event tracker. He included a screenshot which I'll put in the show post. Should be released around, so it should be released around now actually, so it may actually already be live. So nice work, guys. That's at swotorapps.com. I'll include links, etc. to this in the show post. And the tracker is live. And finally, in community news, Daniel, who was on the previous show talking about his dissertation, where he was put out the survey. The survey is now live, and Daniel is going to tell you all about it now. And if you, again, want to listen to this at some point, if you don't want to listen to the MP3 of the show, I've just put the link to what Daniel said there. And that will bring us to the Academy. And this week, Swotorista will tell us about, when I find the email, I'm not even sure she's actually going to record it. Yeah, sounds like she will be able to. Let me just find out what she said.
Super useful.
How to take screenshots and video of your characters.
Oh.
I haven't shared anything recorded yet, so I've got nothing to really play at this point, or even link to. So, thank you, Swotorista. Alright, that will bring us to the force feedback section, where we read your tweets and emails. And firstly, Joseph Brown just sent us in a screenshot of a Face Arkin. This is that appeared on his launcher. Face Arkin with 500 bonus cartel coins. Be a subscriber on July the 7th and collect your cartel coin reward. So if you're not currently sub, this is one of those like non-sub only offers that they make via the launcher. So if you're sub by July the 11th. So next time you log into the game, you still actually probably won't have by the time. Well, just always make sure you check the launcher, because that is the way they can offer offers to particular players, not everyone.
I got this too, and I'm already a subscriber. I
Oh.
saw the offer. So
That's kinda
maybe it's
weird.
for everyone.
Okay. Lewis said, will you be able to romance the new companion? Man, I hope there is a story mission to get them. That's a good point. Will the... Actually, no, probably not. The companion will just
I would
appear in your
guessing
mail.
I would
But,
really hope it's like Nico Okar, where you go out and you just kind of meet them. Like
Right.
the Nico Okar mission, even it's like really short and a lot of fun. So I'd like to do that with the Chiss companion, which we will definitely be getting, because like I said, it's
The dark
best.
side one. Sure.
No,
The
no,
light side
Chiss
one.
Yeah, light side one. I want the light side one so bad.
I suppose you could personally just play the story over and over and over again and get light side and dark side, or get light side points. It's up to you,
I'll
Alex.
probably let 'em-
You could...
The power's in
tip
my
the
hand.
balance.
I'm going to move it to 51 in my favor.
Alright.
Pretty sure Blacklock wants the dark side. I saw him tweet
Oh,
that to
bugger.
Granitoko, and you're wrong.
He's actually quite efficient at playing, so yeah,
Yeah.
this may be a losing proposition. Alright, Khan's here, still playing and still listening to the podcast each week. Thank you for keeping it up in these MMO non-existent times. It is a bit of a drought if you're actually after a new MMO, so why not? Could you please provide me with the link to the spreadsheet that Blacklock made that was mentioned in episode 266? Sounds useful. He's looking at the tanking guides on the side panel of the website, and some of these are 3.0, so his up-to-date spreadsheet might have the answers I need. And indeed they do. His spreadsheet is up to version 3.1. I will link it in the show post. He's also now got a dark side versus a light side event tracker, DVL event tracker, which I'll also link. So nice work, Blacklock. Thank you for crafting all these spreadsheets. This is what software architects do at once you get past a certain point, you don't write code anymore. You just do bloody spreadsheets. You become quite proficient in Excel, but it's tragic. Chinook said, had a thought while listening to OotiniCast. Is the DVL event part of the Better Than Cross server? So, technically, well, the whole point of that was to reduce your weight when queuing for flashpoints and operations and war zones. And, well, one consequence of that could indeed be, of the event, is because you have to do all these flashpoints. And at least some war zone, yeah, could indeed reduce queue times. Whether they claim it was better than cross server, maybe not. But yes, unintended consequence. Megacode said, for the DVL event, Tier 4 flashpoints, can we solo all of these? And can we access some solo mode from Starfleet, from the your faction's fleet? And the answer is apparently yes, as Alex has already said.
Yeah.
Very nice. And he also said he watched the Star Wars, the original Star Wars, before it was A New Hope, Episode 4, at the Mann's Chinese Theatre back in 1977 with his family.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
I've been to the location. I went there when I was in America for Comic-Con. I went up to LA and saw that area.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, one day I will do the same, I hope. All right, next from our old friend Johnny, born to eat bacon. Like Tia, my pub tune for this event is a female consular, only human. Unlike Tio, she's my first consular and first human. Wow, I've only had humans before this, so yeah, it's kind of cool to branch out. He also says, I'm with Chill, aim for Eternal for the Eternal tier for the new companion, and leave Legendary for more obsessive types. Well, I don't know if obsessive is the right word. Maybe it is. I guess we'll see. And Eternal is the 5th tier, Legendary being the last 6th tier. Finally, he says, I have to say, for me at least, nothing breaks immersion quite like a missile blast with half the range of my son's Nerf gun. Well, you know, Star Wars games.
Class balance.
Class balance, good point. Now, we got a screenshot from Cal. As you can see from the name, I really care about this tune. And the tune's name is One More Shadow. Cute. And just a reminder, you can have a space in your name. I actually forgot about this. So if there's a particular first name you want, but it's taken, you can just stick on a surname, and chances are you should be able to make some unique combo of that. So just remember that when you're naming your vast collection of DVL tunes. Email from Phlox, who did also contribute a tip. I thought I'd share a picture of me with my newborn daughter. Her name is Emilia Ray. Yes, because of that Ray. Oh, now that's cool. And she is 7 weeks old now. The photo was taken one day after we got home from the hospital. Notice anything? And he's got I'll include this in the show post, but in the phone that he's holding, you can see the video of Chill. So it's from our YouTube version of OotiniCast. So nice, mate. And looking at your daughter, I'd forgotten how small they are when they first pop out. They rapidly get bigger. So congratulations on the birth of your daughter. Now, Flock also says, I might not be able to play the game as much, but I still love to listen to you guys, so yes, Chill will always be visible in one of my family photos. And referring to the photo he put in. And he also sent us a joke. Since I was talking about baby photos, why can't you email a photo to a Jedi? Because attachments are forbidden.
Last week
I've heard that
you
one
had,
before.
Yeah, last week you had good Star Wars humor with the missing your
Yeah.
point, and this time we've gone back to the good old Star Wars humor.
Are we sponsored by Gamer Easy? I don't even know what a Gamer Easy is, so I guess not. Someone asked in the chat.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd be willing to. Yeah, Anyway, happy leveling, and that's not how the Force works. Greetings from Vienna, Phlox. So thank you, Phlox. And I don't think we're going to do that last one, because I've been putting that off for a couple of months now. We sort of already covered it somewhere else from Charel. Now, anything from the chat room that we would like to bring up? Anything, anyone spotted anything?
Not really. I was just talking about the DVL Companion Wars.
Gamers. Gamer Easy is a credit selling site, so I'm going to have to cut that out. Whoops. So no, definitely not.
It just I keep getting those emails. It's been happening more and more, so I keep reporting and reporting.
Yeah. Where is the link to the tracker? In the show post, which I'll post in about 24 hours. What spreadsheet? So I'm just reading back through the chat.
The chat is quite funny.
And Dekion says, "Oh, this is going to be a bit late by the time this is published."
Is it Jar Jar Joyride?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'll be joining that.
All right. Anyway, let's leave it there.
All right.
So, and that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Harbinger server, or in our guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel, and then let us know you're a fan of the show. We used to give you a quiz, but we don't anymore. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast. You can find contact details for us all on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe to us using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live every Wednesday, perhaps Thursday, at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. Thank you, chat room, and thank you, Alex and Rachel.
Thank you.
And thanks, chat room, and we'll see you next week. All right, guys, keep recording. Everyone, thank you for watching. I've got to say, I kind of don't like hosting because my throat's sore. I talk way too much. Yeah. And I'll also say that wrangling this animal is... he is ludicrously sooky at the moment because Ari's back at work. He's lonely. Aww.
Oh.
What a cutie.
French accent. Oh, thanks, Fee. All right, guys, we'll be back next week. It will be Wednesday next week. We won't be switching to the Thursday for at least probably a month. Maybe in August. We'll see. He wanted to help. Yes, he did. And thank you.
He wanted to host.
Wastegate. Wastegate, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Surprised
Sorry,
you didn't get that.
Yeah, I'm a bit slow. I don't speak lead speak. All right, guys. Take care, and may the force be with you.